Hi everyone, I'm Sandy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would share my December reading plans with everyone. I have been still struggling quite a bit to, get back on a normal kind of reading schedule. And I have quite a few books. I was going to say I have a light TBR, but that's always a lie with me. I never have a light TBR. I always have a huge number of books planned to read. It's just what I end up actually reading may not quite be this, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So if you like reading and books and impossible reading projects, then you have found the right place. Hopefully you consider giving me a subscribe and sticking around and seeing how all my massive projects go. I will have a wrap up at the end of December and just kind of walk through all of my projects and their statuses and how most of them were complete and total busts. Bonus. That's kind of where I'm at. So what am I going to be reading in December? I've given up obviously on my 1001 book countdown goal for 2024, which was to read 52 books. I am not going to make it. I know I'm not going to make it, so I'm not going to stress about it. I decided that actually probably almost over a month ago that I just really wasn't going to worry about it anymore. But I do have a few books that I really want to get finished. One, I am currently reading this one, Howard's End by E.M. Forster. And you can see there is a bookmark in there and I am making good progress on this. I don't think this is going to take me long. I am very intrigued about these characters so far and what exactly is going on in this. And there's a couple of different kind of main characters already starting to develop in it, and I think it's going to be a good one. But yeah, we'll see. I've read a few other E.M. Forsters, but this one, yeah, so far it's pretty good. Yeah, that's my current status of that one. I have my 1001 book club pick for the month of December, which is thankfully a very short book, which is The Life and Death of Harriet Frean by May Sinclair. I host the 1001 book club with Britta Bowler, and we will be continuing the 1001 book club into next year, but we're going to pare it down pretty significantly to only 6 books. So we'll have an announcement video coming out hopefully in a couple weeks about that. But this is the last one for December, so I do want to read this one, and since it is pretty short, I should be able to manage that. That's within my capabilities, I believe, to read this one. I don't know anything about this one other than it says novel traces a Victorian woman's suffocating and stunted life. Oh boy. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. But that one. And then the only other 2 books I'm selecting from the 1001 book countdown are the 2 books that were on the 1001 book club this year that I did not read, and that is The Real Charlotte by E. Sommerville and Martin Ross. I did not pick this one up at all. And I still have an issue with the very small font in this book. But yeah, I have this one. And then the last one is The Last September by Elizabeth Bowen. I also have the audiobook of this one. So this one feels very doable. The only one that doesn't feel doable is really honestly this one, mainly because of the really small font. But I'm going to try and close out the year with 4. 3.5 because I already finished. I've started working on Howard's End, but that's going to be my 1001 book club books. So outside of that, I want to close out the year with a book kind of from every project that I have going on and see how that goes. And again, keeping it pretty light, pretty low key. The first one is going to be on my oldest TBR list, and that will be Seabiscuit by Laura Hillenbrand. I meant to read this for Nonfiction November and didn't get to it, but I would love to read this one. I've read Unbroken and loved it, so I'm hoping I love this one. And it just didn't work out in the month of November for me to read it. I did read some nonfiction, but I didn't quite get to this one. Seabiscuit, that's one of my books from my oldest on my TBR. For my inspirational books that were supposed to help me with my 3 million step challenge, which also had trouble once I got my new job and then I hurt my knee. I will tell you, I'm not going to hit 3 million steps. I don't even know what the number is right now. That's how far off of my plan I am. It's not good, right? Yeah, it's definitely not good. But the books I do want to read are this one, Braving It, A Father, a Daughter, and an Unforgettable Journey into the Alaskan Wild by James Campbell. I really want to read this one. So I'm going to try this one. And then I'm also going to try, because it is wintry out, or not wintry here as much so far, I am going to try and read this one, Climb by Anatoly Bukreev. Oh, I don't say that very well. He was part of the climbing expedition to Everest in 1996, which is the same one that John Krakauer was on, which the book Into Thin Air was written about. And so this is just another perspective. And I've heard there's some controversial things about this particular one. So I'd like to read this one. I would. When we talk about outdoor adventure, I do like a good climbing story, but I like them with some positive outcome. I know this one's very sad. Not this book in particular, but the 1996 climb was disastrous. So we'll see how that goes. Tragic ambitions on Everest. Yeah. I do fascinated with people who want to climb Mount Everest. There's something about that mountain that I find just so scary, and that so many people want to climb it is pretty amazing. So yeah, I know I will never be climbing Mount Everest. And the last book I have also started, probably about 3 chapters in though, which is finally I Am Malala. And I do like how this book is starting. It starts with her narrating it in the audiobook, but it's her story that day when she was shot. And I found it really interesting that she was on the bus to school. The school name was on the side of the van that they were in. They were stopped and someone came and asked for her by name and then shot her and 2 of her classmates. And so she was already apparently speaking out about education for women, education for girls, and had kind of some notoriety, I think, about that time. But yeah, it's a very interesting one. So after that, it goes into really her life, her growing up, all of those different parts. And it is very simplistic in kind of its narrative, but I do find her fascinating. So yeah, that's the other book that I'm planning on reading. Outside of that, I have been dipping into a bit of sci-fi fantasy, well, really fantasy, or romantasy, I guess. So I have a couple books. I have one series by Clarissa Broadbent that I would love to finish the second book. I haven't started it yet. It's the Nyaxa. I don't know how you say that series name, but it has vampires in it. Yeah, it has vampires. And I did like that one quite a bit. Someone at Barnes & Noble recommended that book to me. So I'd like to read that one. And outside of that, I'm really just going to kind of just go with the flow and see what strikes my fancy. I don't always do well with that, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping. You can see up here on my shelf, this is some other possibilities for this month: An Immense World, Codebreaker. I have another nonfiction book that I didn't get to, Where Bigfoot Walks. A bunch of 1001 books up there as well that I could dip into. I have lots of possibilities. I have no shortage of unread books on my shelf. All right. Yeah, it's kind of a small, short little video for you about what my plans are for December. I will do I could do a stack. I could do a stack to fill a little bit of time. I have The Climb. I have I Am Malala, if I can reach them. I have Braving It and Seabiscuit. That's a fair amount of nonfiction though. Apparently I'm doing nonfiction December as well. And then I have these 4,001 books. Not a bad stack. I would be happy if I could make it through all of these. I really would, because I don't think I've read about this many books in November, but they were like just military romance and romantic fantasy books, or anything lighthearted or easy. That's what my brain wanted to do in November. I did read Evicted by Matthew Desmond in November, and that was a tough book, emotionally tough book to read as well. So yeah, I think this will be a good challenge. Wish me luck with it. Maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't make it, but I'm happy with where I'm at this year. I have great plans for 2025. I'll have a video coming out with my TBR for my 1001 books for 2025. I don't think I'm going to do projects like I did this year. We'll see. But please leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you're reading in the month of December. How did your projects go? I would love to hear all of that as well. I'm trying to get caught up on comments. I realize I'm also behind on that. It's just how life's going right now. So, but as always, like, comment, and subscribe, everyone. And until next time, bye.